Halo, we are getting into law tonight, dealing with the importance of the hierarchy of laws. The hierarchy of laws. Y'all hear me talk about them all the time. Tonight, we going through it, baby. We going through it. Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah, welcome to your paradise, placed alone for all your life. yeah. Yours truly, Diva Reed, representing Halo. UNA University for me. Yes. UNA. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm yours truly, Diva Reed, representing for UNA University and UNARepublic and Halo. We're getting into some law tonight. Before I get into the importance of the hierarchy of laws, let me get into this. All right. So this is the trust. All right. Trust documents. What is the trust? This is where we're dealing with you're being in a different jurisdiction, a foreign jurisdiction to those who are trying to take over your estate, okay, the U.S. corporation. So the purpose of this is protection from taxes, from misrepresentation, from being kidnapped by the agents, okay? Trust. All right. It comes with, when you have the membership package, it comes with your trust documents, your membership badge, as well as your allodial ID. This ID deals with your spiritual name, all right? And the QR code on the back allows you to actually scan and get quick access to your documents. Also, it comes with an 8-session course so that you can get education about what these documents are for. And then we also put them on record for you. What is the price of this package? It's only $625. All right. It's only $625. If you know anything about a trust, go to a lawyer. $2,500 minimum. And I'm letting you know this price is not going to stay at $625. It's going to go up. I'm just letting you know. And I don't want you to rush. I'm not telling you that to rush. I'm just letting you know the value of these documents. The thing about these documents, this is just with the documents alone, you're starting out at $2,500, all right? But we make sure you have an education why. We want to make sure that you have knowledge about what these documents are, because you get too many people say, well, you know, I paid somebody to put my stuff on record, but I still ain't free. Well, you're not going to be free until you have knowledge. It's the knowledge that gives you freedom. That's why today we're going into the hierarchy of law. Some of you all have gotten the UNA beginner law book, and you can get this at UNAuniversity.com. In here is a hierarchy of law. But those of y'all who actually purchased a physical copy, you actually got a laminated copy. All right, because we like for you all to put these things up around your house, on your refrigerator, on your mirrors, on, whatever. We want you to put them up around the house. But why this is important, we're going into that. This hierarchy of laws chart. Very important. All right, because this is where you gain knowledge of self. So y'all take notes. And once again, if you're wanting this, you can get this at the UNAuniversity.com site. And also, I want to remind you all, the university will be starting up on the 16th. That's next Monday. If you're wanting to be a part of it, go ahead and find the link in the bio to send a consultation. All right. Have a free consultation so that we can get you enrolled. Now, I need to say something before I go into this, because I get it. Some of us are in a a financial situation and we're having financial issues and we've been told we got all these millions of dollars and it's unlimited money or what have you. And so we're like, Diva, where the money at? Diva, give me the money. Let's get the money. Where's it? Okay. But you don't just snap your fingers and it's there. Because you have to learn the laws and understand why you lost it in the first place. And I'm going to say this again. You have to understand why you lost it in the first place. So this is not just about, oh, I'm going to go authenticate my birth certificate. I'm going to get all the money. That's not how this works. Because you have to be set up in order to receive the funds. So what you got to understand is with the birth certificate or any kind of financial instrument, the birth certificate is a financial instrument. When you're trying to get funds off of it, now you're dealing business directly with the federal government. When you're trying to get funds off of any kind of financial instrument, now you're doing business directly with the federal government. And if you're going to do business with the federal government, you have to look like a bank. You have to look like a nation. Some of y'all just look like a slave walking into the bank talking about, I want this money for my birth certificate. Come on, give me the money. Where the money at? Somebody told me my birth certificate wants to get it authenticated. Give me some money. No, that is not how this works. And if anybody who is telling you that it is and you don't have an understanding about law, you don't have an understanding about these documents and financial instruments and how to stand like a bank and look like a nation, then you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. And I'm going to go into that real quick, and then we're going to get into these hierarchy of laws. Now, when I have people that come to me asking me about a 1099, a birth certificate authentication, and I want the money and the OIDs, I need y'all to understand something. These people are not going to just quietly hand you over this money and not check you or test you. That is not how this works. You got plenty of people who went through an OID process. Plenty of people who did that. And then, but they ended up in jail. People don't understand why. Pay attention. Pay attention and take notes. For those of y'all who don't know, hello, Drukpa, welcome. Drukpa said, let's get it. All right. I'm glad you're getting this information. See, Drukpa, I don't want you to put it over here, Drukpa. Do you get any value out of the documents that you watch that are on YouTube? Do you get any value out of them? Do I actually drop any jewels? Let me know if I do. Tell me one or two things, if you could, Drukpa, that you have learned when you're watching these videos in TikTok. If you're watching these videos, if you've gotten anything of value, it's harder for TikTok. I told y'all we're streaming on YouTube at UNARepublic. Go and watch the whole video. Y'all get little snippets and y'all think, oh, but they ain't telling us the whole story. Can't nobody tell you the whole story in 30 seconds. When the student is ready, the master will appear. That's right. So nobody can tell you the whole story in 30 seconds. It doesn't work like that. But y'all getting snippets of people telling you about a birth certificate authentication and how, you suddenly going to get money, but then they don't give you the whole story. That's because you have to have more than just an authenticated birth certificate. You got to know what it is, why you're supposed to get money, where you're supposed to send it to, how you're supposed to look, what you're supposed to have in place. That's why we have the university. Because you don't just jump up and, that's it. I got some money. Well, then everybody will have that. But the problem is you're not standing or looking like the bank that you are. So we got to get you set up first. Do you have your EIN? See, people come to me with this. Do you have an EIN? No, I ain't got no I got an LLC. Well, okay, good. Is the LLC under trust? Because when you get all these millions, you're going to get taxed like crazy. Is it under trust? It's not. No, it ain't under. Do you have your Treasury Direct account set up? Do you have your business trust set up? Do you have your logo, your seal, your constitution set up? Do you have anything set up to where you look like a business? You don't? Well, you're not ready. You don't look like a bank. You look, like I said, like a slave, like a citizen. You look like a debtor. All right? So this is why you have to come into the university so that we can help you understand what's going on. The next thing is, I told you, you're going to be tested. And when you're tested, you could end up like them people who went to jail or went to prison, not knowing who they are or what their rights are. Because when you understand the game, the only thing they can lock up is your all capital letter name. Listen and pay attention and take notes. The only thing they can lock up or do any kind of business with is the all capital letter name. But when you have the all capital letter name under trust, then they have no jurisdiction. I'm going to say it again for those of y'all who's sitting in the back of the room and not paying attention. When you have your all capital letter name under trust, then they do not have jurisdiction. You're out of their jurisdiction. And what does that mean, Diva? Well, it means they can't arrest you. They can't lock you up. Because they're doing commerce with your all capital letter name, and that is copyright infringement. But then if you don't know the stand, you're going to sign a contract. They're going to come to you, oh, Mr. Jackson, did you sign this document and you sent this OID in and you got, your thousands of dollars and all that? Well, yeah, I signed it. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a felony. That's what they're going to tell you, but that's against our code, statutes, and ordinance number 239769, whatever. That's, you go to prison or jail, whichever one they're doing. Because they're trying to say you committed some kind of crime. But if you don't know how to stand, only thing you can do is be at their mercy. So, okay, so for every $1,000 you got, that's 10 years. You do understand that. So, you got 5,000. So, you're looking at 50 years. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop it down. We're just going to give you 5 years. And you just need to sign here in 5 years. And this is a good deal because otherwise that would be 50. That would be 50 years. You won't get out until you 220, sir. So, you should take this deal. Meanwhile, somebody who knows who they are, know that they don't have to take no kind of deal. Somebody who knows who they are, they're not even going to be in this situation because they will know how to respond from the beginning. Somebody who knows this game. They are going to do what it takes or know what it takes to get out of it. This is why I tell people, look, I was talking to one sister. Diva, where the money at? Diva, come on, Diva. I got some bills to pay. Cause where the money? Okay. So since you so excited about getting the money, then I put her in a situation where somebody from the IRS is calling her up, or the Criminal Investigation Division is this you who signed that? She is in a role play and sweating her butt off about what to say and what to do. But I thought you was ready for the money, honey. You clearly are not ready if they come in your face and you don't know what to say. You sweating and you want to run up under the bed and hide. No, you're not ready. Y'all understanding this game? This is not just what they just handed over and then, okay, it's yours. That's not how this works. They're trying to keep you under contract because a master does not want to let go of their slave. Who wants that? No. The master wants to keep you. The master wants to keep you enslaved. And if they can get you into another contract, they will. And it will be on you because you lack ignorance. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well, what laws they talking about, Diva? These laws right here. And we're ready to go through them. Hierarchy of laws. Once again, we have the PDF of the UNA law book. And it has the hierarchy of laws in there. You can go and get the PDF. If you're getting the physical copy, this thing is on back order, so y'all gotta be patient. But the PDF copy, you can get that right now. You can go to UNAUniversity.com and get the PDF copy, and in there you'll find this hierarchy of law chart that we get ready to go over today, right now. All right, what is this hierarchy of law chart? All right, I need y'all to understand where this came from. The first version of this was in Spanish. I created this when I was, and you'll see this all, this has been circulated, all right? And this is on record. So this is a law. It's been on record. If something goes on record for 30 days and it's unrefuted, it becomes a law. All right? So this is a law. Now, the first version of this was in Spanish. And where does this come from? So I'm going to tell y'all the story of how the hierarchy of law chart came about. I was living in Argentina, South America. And when I left this country, I full well knew what my rights were. Okay. For some reason, my stream keeps cutting out. I don't know what that is. But we're going to fix it. Hold on. All right. My stream cut out when in my other thing too. All right, so let me get this let me get this thing back up here. All right. So hopefully we are running now. Let me see if I can get this thing back up over here. I have people wanting to view over here. Does anybody else have this problem? Am I the only one? My stream just shuts out. I don't know if it's the spirits or the people. Them. I don't know who it is. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't keep my stream up and running. All right, let's see what we got. And then we're going to get into it now. All right, so I think we're rolling over here. I don't know why it keeps going out, but okay, let's go. Let's get back into this. And y'all like and share, please, and share and like. If you are on YouTube, find us at UNARepublic.com. I'm just trying to see. It's not even showing me. Where is my video? Okay, let's get on. Let's get on. All right, so getting back into this, the hierarchy of laws, I'm going to rewind. Take two. All right. Hierarchy of laws chart. Now, I'm trying to see why I can't get, thank you. There we go. All right. So the hierarchy of laws chart. Thank y'all for joining, by the way. Like and share and subscribe if you're on YouTube. My people on TikTok, I want y'all to follow and like and share. All right. Now, this hierarchy of laws chart is what we're talking about. And as I told you, the original version was in Spanish because I was living in Argentina when this came about. This hierarchy of law chart came about, and it is on record. You'll see this, a lot of people have adopted this. My thing is, I want everybody to have it. Okay. For the simple fact that everybody needs to understand it. This is when you start learning who you are. This is how you gain your freedom. Your knowledge comes from understanding this hierarchy of law. What is a hierarchy? Hierarchy means what is on top, all right? What's the highest to the lowest? The order, the totem pole. This is the order, and this is what we have not understood. And because we haven't understood this, we have forgotten our place. All right, so we're going to go over this. How did this hierarchy of law chart come about? All right, so I'm in South America, and I lived in South America. for over 7 years. And when I left this country, I full well knew what my rights were. And I was going to stand on them. My whole thought process was this: I will die for my rights. Hold on for a second. All right. We rolling. Take number 10. All right. So let's get into this thing now. Today, we're talking about the hierarchy of laws chart and why it's so important, because if you really want your freedom, you got to have the knowledge. And it comes when we have knowledge of this hierarchy of laws chart. Now, I told you the original hierarchy of law chart was actually written in Spanish. Why was it written in Spanish? Because when I created this document, I was in Argentina. Now, as I told you, when I left this country, my mindset was, I will die for my rights, and I meant that. So I know that we didn't have to show ID to anybody, and of course, when I left North America, I didn't want to have anything to do with anything that said U.S. anything, because I wanted to be far removed from the United States. I didn't want this title, because I understood what it went with. But I didn't know then what I know now. And I didn't know then what I knew when I created this document. So leaving the United States, I didn't want to be showing any kind of ID that said United States anything. When I left the country, I had no intentions of coming back or ever returning for any reason, or setting foot on any territory that was under the United States. People kept trying to give me, you need to go to the embassy, and I'm not going to no United States embassy for no reason. And for me, I need y'all to understand something. I'm a child of God. That was it. You with the United States? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I was denouncing all that. I was trying to find out how to get a dual citizenship actually in Argentina. But I didn't even want to be a citizen. I had no desire to be a citizen. I found out how to get my own IDs and all of that. And I had started to create my own IDs when I was in South America. So what happened was, I had these cops. This was one, they were always checking. If I'm riding in a cab, they check in the cab, and then they come to me and start asking me, I need to see your ID. And I'm like, no, you don't. I don't do business with you all. I'm not showing you an ID. And in most cases, I'd refuse, and then they'd let me go on. And then sometimes they'd stop the cab, because see, the cab was under their jurisdiction, but I'm not. And I tell them, I'm not under your jurisdiction. And I'm saying it in my bad Spanish. They understood. All right. And so sometimes I would get out of the car, and then I would just walk to wherever I was going. They'd be trying to ask me stuff like, where are you going? That way. Where you live? Over there. And I wouldn't give them information. And, I try to be cordial, but I let them know, you don't have authority or jurisdiction over me. So now, of course, some people ask, well, why you didn't just show them an ID? Because I don't have to. And because I didn't at that time have my own ID created. And I eventually created my own ID. And then I would travel with my ID, and that's what I would show. What was the name of my nation? Diva-Laree. That was the name of the nation. And it had it on the ID, and I had because I used to sing. That's what I did when I was in Argentina. I traveled the country. I sang. I do shows all over the country, so they knew me there. I can go to different places, and yeah. So I was, I had a good following in Argentina. So what ended up happening is I was coming from a show. This was the day before Christmas. I was coming home from a show. And cop pulled my cab over. I was like, here we go. So we get out. Get out the cab, and or the cab. No. They asked the cab all this information. Who are you? Let me see your information. And they checking his car and his license and all this other stuff. And then they come to me, and I'm like usual. I'm not showing you an ID. And then so get out the car. Fine. So I got out the car. Normally I just walk away. I was like, I'm not showing you an ID, and then I'm leaving. But this time that's not what happened. This time the guy was a jerk. And he snatched my bag, and I wouldn't let him. I was like, no, you don't have authority to search me. You don't have authority to ask me for any ID. So we're going through this. And then you all know how cops do. It's the same. It doesn't matter what country you're in, where they try to intimidate you with numbers. And I let all of them know. I got names. And I need to see your supervisor. And I let them know you do not have authority over me. Now, please understand, at this point, and at no point did I break any laws. I don't have to show you ID. So they arrested me or kidnapped me, because really that's what it was. Because once I say you don't have authority over me, once I say that and I've let him know that I'm sovereign or what have you, then you need to be on your way, because listen, I need y'all to understand. This is why we're going through this hierarchy of laws. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. And we're going to go through this whole list. But this right here, this is where the police are. Really, the police are under here at the totem pole. But since citizens are so ignorant of who they are, I put the police up here. But they are private citizens. That's all a policy enforcer is. They're not officers. And I need y'all to understand what an officer is. And I hope y'all are taking notes. Officers are elected by the people. They work for the people. A policy enforcer, they work for a private entity. All right. And their job is to protect that private entity's property and not you. You, as a matter of fact, are property of the private entity. So y'all got to understand that a policy enforcer, they do not have the authority to do the things that they've been told they have the authority to do. And by the way, there is no law that says you have to show them an ID. There is no law. But as I told y'all, after I had they kidnapped me, a whole bunch of stuff went down. Where I sued them, I sued that city of Argentina. And I created this document, and then I took them, I had to create this for court. They were trying to keep me out of court. But y'all got to understand that everything deals on a federal level. I hope y'all paying attention to this. Around this planet, if there's somebody got a post office or any kind of court that's saying, do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God, or anything like that, they deal on a federal level. And so there are laws that they have to abide by. All right. So when I said to this guy that I'm sovereign and that he didn't have jurisdiction, then he's supposed to back off. Anything that I did after that point, I had the right to do, because I would be protecting myself against a rogue citizen, which is all a policy enforcer is. So when they locked me up, I was steaming. And this is when this was the first time I put my documents on record, because I knew all of this law stuff and I was helping a lot of other people. And I didn't do it in Argentina by that time because the language barrier. I was like, man, I'm going to have to. Then it was like, okay, you have to do it now. You have to do it. And so then I had to learn. Well, it's not even, I already knew it. I had to start applying what I knew. I knew these laws were important. And the hierarchy of them were important. And so I put them on record first in Argentina when I was suing them. And then I challenged them. And I need y'all to listen to this challenge, because my challenge is this. They kept saying, well, our laws are different down here in Argentina than they are in the United States. Really? Is the God different than it is up in North America? Is the God here in Argentina different than the God in Italy and Germany and every other country? Well, no, they the same God. Well, then the laws are the same. This is why we need to understand the hierarchy of laws, because they think their policies and codes and statutes all the way down here, where they at? Down here with corporations. This is how far policies and they think these are laws. These are not laws. The laws are all the way up here. We're dealing with God's laws. That's why I ask, you mean to tell me, are the gods different here than they are in North America? Well, no, they all the same God. It's the same God. We believe in it. Well, then what you're telling me the law is different. Because what this law here, laws of maxim, and these are higher. This is higher than any of their code, statute, and ordinances. What these policies, these laws here, that comes straight from the Bible, they say nobody can force you into a contract. They say nobody can force you into a contract. It says you have the right to create your own document. It says you have the right to be of your own nation, of your choosing. It says you have the right to bear arms and protect yourself. That's what these laws say right here. These are higher than these code, statutes, and ordinances that are all the way down here under corporations. So we're ready to go into this, because when they were telling me, well, our laws here are different. Okay, you have to show ID when the cops ask you. Really? Please show me that law. And I went in on them. Show me the law. And I waited. This woman picks up this book, and it said Códigos de Ley. No, Códigos de Córdoba, meaning codes. She picks up a book, this big, thick book of codes. And she's like, see, in our laws, the laws are saying, I was like, lady, that say codes. That don't say laws. That's not a law. I say, you know what? Well, let's play this game. Show me the code. Show me the code that says that I have to show ID to enter. Show me the code. She put the book down. You know why? Because there is no code. There is no code. There is no law. But if she had showed me a code, if she had said, okay, I'm going to flip to a page number, and this code says you got to show ID. Fine. That is a code. Now I'm going to pick up this Bible. And I'm going to tell you what God said. God says you cannot force me into a contract. Y'all need to pay attention to this, because we don't argue with their code, statutes, and ordinances down here when we know we're standing under God up here. See, when we know who we are, we know that their code, statutes, and ordinances do not apply to us. But some of y'all down here acting like a citizen. Some of y'all talking, well, a citizen with a big C, not a little C, diva. If you're a citizen, you down here. Some of y'all are acting like a citizen, and we're going to get into the difference right now. As opposed to standing as the sovereign, you are under God. All right? I hope y'all are understanding this. Why this hierarchy of laws is so important. So before I created this, I had not put my trust on record. I had not put a trust on record. But I knew these laws, and this is why, that's why I tell y'all, don't play around with this. Either you're going to get in and be sovereign and understand these laws and how this game works, or you're not going to do it at all, because if you half-stepping, the system is going to come at you. And if you don't have your trust, you're going to be sitting in jail like I was. I went in jail. And I did some dumb things, too, that I tell y'all not to do. And I know not to do them because I've had to walk it. All right? But what you want to do is get your trust in order, because the only thing that they're locking up is your all capital letter name. Once it is under trust, they cannot do business with it. Once your all capital letter name is under trust, they cannot do business with it. They cannot make money off of it. If they cannot make money off of it, they got to spit you out. Some of y'all think these prisoners go to jail and it's free. Hey, you go to prison and you get a free meal and you get it free. Ain't that free? It's coming out of your estate. That's why they need you to sign documents when you're going in there, when you're coming out, because they're making money off of you. And if they can't make money off of you because your estate is copyrighted, then they ain't come do business with you. Because if it don't make money, it don't make sense. And get the hell out of my jail. Because we're not going to keep paying for you and paying for you to eat and washing your clothes and all this. We're not paying for that. Get out. That's the importance of a trust. And that's the importance of understanding. The importance of understanding who you are in this hierarchy of law chart. So let's get to it. The first one. These are universal laws. When you hear people talking about ignorance of the law is no excuse, these laws right here is what they're talking about. Ignorance of these laws is no excuse, because if you are not in harmony with universal laws, you won't ever be able to get right. So where these laws come from? Y'all know about Masons and these secret societies. These are the first laws they got to learn. They're also known as the 7 Hermetic Principles. 7 Hermetic Principles right here. The universal laws, they deal with the energies you put out. Whatever energy you put out must come back. That's the universal law. Whatever energy you put out must come back. These laws, you ignorant of these laws, you won't ever be able to get right. All right? The natural law is the next one. Natural laws deal with how things show up in this third dimension and respecting the nature of the beings that show up in this third dimension. All right? For example, and these are simple examples, but if you are going to cook something, you want to do that in metal, because metal is going to take the heat. You don't cook it in plastic. You're not going to cook it in wood. That's not going to be able to take the heat, but metal will. You got to respect the nature of the entities that show up here in the third dimension. All right, a cat. A cat is going to meow. A dog is going to bark. Well, you don't go and buy a cat to be a guard dog for your house. You're not respecting the nature of that being. All beings have a nature respected. And then you can do business better. You can contract better in this third dimension. Same thing with men and women. We are ignorant about the true nature of men and women. All of us. Because we've been lied to in this backward society. I'm not going into that now, but that's what the natural laws deal with. The natural laws also deal with how we live in abundance. Pay attention. We live in abundance, but we've been told to hoard. Oh, it's scarcity. And when you're living like that, you're going to get more scarcity. When you hoarding and you scared and I ain't going to get enough, and you don't want to share and you don't want to give, the more you do that, the more your situation downward spirals into scarcity. Y'all got to understand these laws, natural laws, dealing with we live in abundance. Somebody has tricked us in this whole society. All right. Laws of maxim. That's the next, and this is the level. These are the laws of maxims, are also known as God's laws. All right. These laws come straight from the Bible. These laws deal with, by the way, these right here, they cannot be taken from you. They can't be repackaged and resold to you. This deals with your right to travel this planet freely without governmental ID. This deals with your right to not be forced into a contract. Your right to bear arms and protect yourself. Your right to collect rainwater, what they're trying to take away from you. God gave you these rights. And when you sign things, then you're giving up those rights that God gave you. As a citizen, you have given up the rights that God gave you. When we're talking about these laws here, we're talking about the Republic. The Republic. And the Republic, we ain't talking about no dang on Democrat versus Republic. Now, we're talking about a republic form of government whereby your God-given rights are protected at all costs. Laws of maxims. These deals with God's laws. Welcome back, Drukpa. All right? And all my people in YouTube, welcome. Y'all like and share. If you haven't subscribed, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Subscribe. All right. Next level here is sovereignty or sovereign. This deals with somebody who is a master of self. A master of self. That means that you are in harmony with these universal laws up here. You're not worrying about a government. See, I told y'all, I'm going to say this again to you. Government. Govern means to control. Ment means mind. Government means control of the mind. Some of y'all need a government down here because you don't have control of your mind. You don't have self-mastery. But when you gain self-mastery, you up here standing as a sovereign with your rights that are given to you by God that can't be taken away unless you keep signing them away. All right. Next, we have contract law. I need y'all to understand something. These laws are not written. These laws are made up by the people. This is the people. The people are the only ones who can create laws. When you hear about anything that's being created by the system and those in the system, they creating code, statutes, and ordinances. They are only creating code, statutes, and ordinances. You, as the sovereign, are the only one who can create a law. Congress can't create a law. They only pass an ordinance or some kind of code or a statute. It's not a law. And you got to understand, when you learn how to create contracts and write and use your pen, you are the one with all the power. We've forgotten how to do this. And when you've forgotten how to write, you've forgotten all of your power. When they're talking about spelling and being able to write in cursive, a contract is nothing but a spell. I told y'all every word is every word is its own contract. And every word is a spell. If you don't know how to write your own spell, you've lost your power. This is why we have to get back into understanding what contract law is. All right. Treaties. Treaties are laws concerning a particular tract of land or property that is a creation or an agreement between two sovereign parties. Treaties deal with a tract of land or property and is agreement between two sovereign parties, like the peace, I would say the Peace and Friendship Treaty, but that treaty, if it's dealing with, which is really not, it's not dealing with the United States of America. And all my Moors in the house go, no, that's wrong. It's not dealing with the Moors. It's dealing with the United States of America. It's not. Y'all go read the... I'm laughing because I love my Moors, my Moor friends. Because they get upset when I go into this and I tell the truth about what that Peace and Friendship Treaty is. All right. But I'm going to use it as an example so we understand what a treaty is. The Peace and Friendship Treaty is really dealing with the people. Not necessarily the land, but the people in the land. And it can't deal with the land anyway because the original people didn't sign that Peace and Friendship Treaty. That Peace and Friendship Treaty was signed by foreigners, elite Moors, melanated folks who are foreign to this land. And they signed that Peace and Friendship Treaty, but the original people never signed that. And if it had to do with this land, it's not valid because the only people who can sign anything dealing with the land of North America are the original people of the land. And those Moors who created the United States of America were not the original people of the land. It's like, yes, they was. They was Moors. This our land. Well, how this is their land? When anybody who goes and reads the Declaration of Independence will see it in there as clear as day, where they say they are foreign to the land. They said it. If you're foreign to the land, you don't have sovereignty in this land. So you cannot sign any contracts concerning the land if you're not of the land. Let us be clear on that. All right. Hello, Charlie. Nice to meet you and see you here. Thank you for joining. Quava, welcome. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Hello, Craig. Hello, Al. Al says, changing your mindset. That's right. We got to change our mindset. Won't y'all like and share, please? And thank you for joining. Neil, hello, welcome. Thank you for sharing the live. Chris and Dorothea, Michael, Steve, Ronan, Bose, hello, welcome. Thank you. Yes, you write your own spells, Drugpa. So now, getting back to this, we're understanding what a treaty is. A treaty, in the case of the Peace and Friendship Treaty, is an agreement between Morocco, a sovereign entity, and the United States of America, a sovereign entity, whereby they're dealing with the people. So the only thing the Peace and Friendship Treaty is talking about, okay, well, listen, if your people from Morocco come to the United States of America, we're going to make sure we treat them well. We're not going to lock them up. We're going to, if their ships are here, we're going to make sure we give them a guide out back to the sea to make sure nobody's going to harm them while they're in our territory. That's what the Peace and Friendship says for Morocco. And then for Morocco says to the people of the United States, which they call Americans, to the Americans, they were saying, okay, we're going to treat your people the same way. If they come up here to Morocco, we're not going to lock them up. They're going to have diplomatic immunity. We're going to send them back to you and let you deal with them. If they do some stuff up here, we're going to lock them up and then send them back down there so that you can do what you need to do to them. All right. What's up, Chiefless? All right. So now that's what a treaty is, dealing with a property or a particular tract of land where two sovereigns are in agreement on it. All right. See how high treaties are. Treaties are here. Here's contract law. Treaties are laws. Here's the Constitution. We haven't even gotten to the Constitution yet. Treaties are above the Constitution. And I need y'all to understand, when we're talking about a Constitution right here, we're talking about laws that are created by the sovereign that governs the corporation created by the sovereign. We're not even talking about the United States Constitution. We're talking about your Constitution. Your Constitution, your jurisdiction that you create for yourself. That's what we go over in UNA University, which is starting up once again on the 16th. You got to know all of this. You got to know what these laws are. This is where your freedom. This is when you start to become free, when you recognize what the laws are, the hierarchy is, and where you stand. If you in your right mind and you're in your right place, you're standing as a sovereign under God, not as a citizen under man. And we're going to get into that. All right, getting back to this. Constitution. This is your Constitution. Your Constitution stands above the United States Constitution. I'm going to say it again. Because I'm like, nah, your Constitution, the one that you create right here, it stands above the United States Constitution. This is why when you create your trust, you're no longer under their jurisdiction. You are creating your jurisdiction right here when you create your Constitution. Y'all paying attention? Y'all paying attention? All right. Federal codes. When it comes to quote unquote laws, this is as far as we go with UNA. This is it right here. Federal codes. Why? Why do we respect federal codes? Y'all need to understand what federal means. Federal. Take notes. Thank you, Chiefless. Hello, Sandy. Federal means a covenant with God. Federal means a covenant with God. Make sure you take notes so y'all understand. See, they made y'all fear the federal government. when it's been the federal government that's been giving y'all money the whole time. That's where the estates come from. All those credits and everything, those are federal credits. The United States Corporation has been getting that from the federal government. And again, they have to take care of it on your behalf in accordance with what the federal government has set up. Federal means a covenant with God. This is why all these federal agents and judges and anybody who are elected by the people, they have to take an oath. And at the end of every last one of them, it says, "So help me God." They have taken an oath to protect God's property. All of the federal agents and any other agent that's supposed to be for the public, they have to take an oath. And that oath ends with, "So help me God," because they are federal agents to whatever the Constitution is or whatever protection that has been set forth, where these people are supposed to protect God's property. Who's God's property? You are God's property. You. They are supposed to protect you federally. And this is higher than the corporation. All right? So, federal, anything federal, these federal codes, they tend to be in harmony with these God's laws. Federal codes tend to be in harmony with God's laws. Now, we got the right to not use them if we don't want to. But because remember, your law, your Constitution even stands above federal codes. This doesn't mean that you can go out and do dirt to people and get away with it. That does not happen. That's not how that works, because these laws up here. See, this. Let me say this real quick. This is why I say, you sovereign up here, you got a whole nother level of responsibility. So don't just think you're going to just get away with doing dirt because, well, they can't touch me. No, dog. Here you go. Universal laws. Don't be in harmony with the universe and watch how hard the universe. You're going to wish you was back under the system. You're going to wish. This is why you have to be of integrity. If you're talking about being a sovereign, you have to have integrity, because energies will come down on you. And you don't have to believe, I don't believe in all that. I'm good with that. Okay. All right. Don't listen to me. Just watch the energy come down on your head. And it's coming down if you don't have integrity. All right. So federal codes, this is as low as we go. Because again, right here, this is where your God-given rights are protected. And these codes, these are written. Whereas these laws up here, they are not. Well, the law, the maxims of law are written, but contract laws are not. And please, 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 please do not confuse contract law with case law. Case law is not contract law, and it is not high law. I need y'all to understand. Let me keep going. Right down here. Now, we went from federal codes to corporations. Corporations are dead, fictitious entities. They do not have the ability to create laws. They can only create codes, statutes, and ordinances. And please understand that this Constitution right here, these corporations right here, their purpose is to take away law, or they create a traffic ticket law, whatever kind of quote unquote laws, which they're never laws, they're always code, statutes, and ordinances. When they create this, they are specifically created to take away your God-given rights, specifically. So they need you to sign away your God-given rights so that you can become a citizen and you can sit under this dead, fictitious entity because you signed away and given up your God-given rights. I hope we understand. And if y'all have any questions, put them in the comment section before I get out of here so I can answer them. So we're understanding that a corporation is a dead, fictitious entity. And what they do is they create policies and ordinances and codes and statutes such that they want you to sign away your God-given rights. That is their purpose. The purpose of the federal is to stand for your God-given rights. And then these people come down here and flip it 180 degrees to take those rights away from you. So thank you, Missy. What I want you to do, if you want to get this, I know this is backwards, go to UNA University and you can get the UNA law book. Scroll down, you can get the PDF of the UNA law book, and this is in there, all right? Or you can take a picture and then flip it yourself. You can Photoshop it. Here you go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. All right. So now, all right, so we're understanding, and also Drew Druckput can see it over here. So it's the right way over here. So if you don't see it well on TikTok, find us on YouTube at UNARepublic. All right. So now we're understanding that the corporation is down here under federal codes. These people don't create laws. Congress is down here. Congress does not create laws. They create code, statutes, and ordinances. And they don't even deal with the federal codes. You can create federal codes because you are the federal government. That's another story. We'll go into that later. Now, down here, you'll see police corporations and agents, private agencies of corporations they belong to, equivalent to private citizens. Y'all need to understand United States Corporation, City of Atlanta, State of Georgia, City of Nashville, Knoxville, State of Tennessee. All these are just corporations. They right here. All those, none of them are up here even at the federal level. They're corporations. They are private entities. And they are not government. They're not government. And so what they do is they hire these policy enforcers that y'all call police. Stop calling them officers because they're not. They're private agents. They're private citizens. They don't have no more rights to force you into showing an ID than the little old lady on the block. They don't have the right. What they are bullies. All right? They're bullies. Somebody has told them that they have authority that they don't have. They do not have the authority to force you. As I told you, the same thing in Argentina is the same thing in Italy, the same thing in Mexico. I lived in Mexico. I lived in South America. It's the same thing. They don't have the authority. A cop, policy enforcer, they don't have the authority to do what they've been taught that they have the authority to do. They are private citizens. And they are acting as rogue when they're forcing you into anything. They don't have the right. By federal codes, I'm going to tell you the only three reasons they can arrest you. One, they saw you commit a crime with their own eyes. Two, they have a full reason to believe that you committed a crime or are about to commit a crime. Not like, oh, you just look, you dark skinned. You look like you about to commit a crime. No, you got to have something on you that's smoking to make them think that you did something or about to do something. All right. Third is if you have an arrest warrant, you got a warrant for your arrest. Those are the three reasons they can arrest you lawfully and legally by federal. And remember, here's federal up here. They down here. They're the corporations. They're private entities. So they don't have the authority to just, oh, you didn't show me an ID, I'm going to arrest you. You done pissed me off, I'm going to arrest you. They don't have authority to do that. Because then they're violating your rights. Okay? Yeah, well, the city hires them to bring in revenue. I need y'all to understand something. They are, again, policy enforcers. The corporation can only create code, statutes, ordinances, and policies. These cops, they enforce those policies. They're not there to protect you. They're just like private, what do they call those security guards? That's what they are. They are private security guards with a badge and a costume, because they don't have the authority to do the things, again, that we've been told that they can do. Now, in the UNA University, we deal with what we call conflict management. How do you deal with them when they're coming at you? We deal with that, and some things that you can do to keep the conflict down, because you don't want to be arrested. All right, this is why we get you into having your allodial ID, because once you've said who you are and you've identified yourself, they got to back off. They got to back off. The other thing is, you got to recognize why they would be pulling you over in the first place. They pull you over because you're flying a flag on the back of your car that says that your vehicle is property of the state that they work for. You got a license plate that says Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. You just said my car is registered and it doesn't belong to me. This is why we teach you how to put it under trust. Okay? How you put it under trust. And then when they run that tag, I don't care. No, don't do that stupid. But you might be speeding, or you might have run a light or something. They're not going to pull you over. Because you're no longer under their jurisdiction. All right? Last on this list is citizen. Citizen. A citizen is a slave of the corporation to which it pledges. A citizen does not have rights. A citizen only has privileges that are given to it by the dead fictitious corporation that they pledge to. Citizen. You're going to sit as a citizen under this dead fictitious corporation, or you're going to stand as a sovereign under God. Which one? It's your choice. It's your choice. But if you're standing up here, make sure you have integrity. Make sure you have true knowledge of the law, because ignorance of the law, and I'm talking about these highest laws, is no excuse. You do not get away with doing dirt against somebody. And I know, did nobody see me? Did nobody see me? Somebody always sees you. The universe sees you. Always. There is nothing you can do that the universe won't return to you. So make sure everything you put out is good. Make sure. Or you can get the physical copy. Now, the physical copy is it's back order. They're on back order. But with the physical copy, you're getting your laminated copies of the hierarchy of law chart. It comes with the laminated copy of the vibratory frequency chart. This is huge too. It comes with the laminated copy of the in this book. But we also want to make sure you have a copy so you can put them up around your house. All right. Anybody have any questions, any comments, any disagreements? Universal laws, the hierarchy of laws. These are very important. Once again, now you understand where these came from. I went through it. I had to go to prison. And this was created in prison. The original version was in Spanish. And then when I got out, I lit them up. And I mean, I lit them up with my rights. And I tell you this, that was the best thing that could have happened to me, for the simple fact that I can tell you this, what I know about law for certain, because I went through it, and it wasn't here in North America. It was in South America. And it doesn't matter what country you're in, because I had to deal with law when I was in Mexico as well. It doesn't matter what country you're in. The law is the law. And when they tell you our laws are different, you ask them, is God different? Is your God different than the one in the United States, than the one in Italy and any other country? If it's not, the laws are all the same, because these are the real laws. This down here is their code, statutes, and ordinances. And you need to go by what God says. You stand as a sovereign. And you can only stand as a sovereign if you have knowledge of the law. All right. Tony says they don't honor their oath. Who is there? You talking about the federal? Because if you're talking about a cop, their oath is only to their employer. But at the same time, you cannot honor your oath. I'm going to sue the hell out you if you violate my rights. All right. But again, we deal with conflict management and what to say to make them back off. There's certain things you can do. See, when you're set up in a certain way, really you get to the point where you don't have to speak. But most people, I don't know anybody who's in this game that is a sovereign who has not had to speak and stand their ground. You got to know what to say. And nobody can stand for you. You can't call somebody on the phone, hey, D-Ray, they get ready to lock me up. You better know what to say. Again, if you're standing as a sovereign, see, this is the thing. If you're a sovereign, you have to have knowledge of the law. If you don't have knowledge of the law, then you're not a sovereign. You're still a citizen. Are you tiptoeing between, oh, I'm sovereign. Oh, wait a minute, I'm a citizen today. Oh, you better know who you are. Because when they come at you, the deal, nobody gets challenged because we be like, well, my status, I need to correct my status. Don't nobody be challenging your status. Nobody challenges your status. They challenging your knowledge of the law. Do you really know law? When that cop is coming at you, you better know law. And you better know what to say. And you don't just be silent and then be a butthole too. That's another thing. Don't just be a butthole, but you can stand your ground and say what needs to be said. And then they have to back off. When you know how to state what the law, this is the law. And this is what I'm saying I have the rights to do. I need you to understand this trust that's on record. Everything, my all capital letter name is copyrighted. So if you write it on that ticket, I'm going to sue you for copyright infringement. All right. And you say what needs to be said, but there's all kinds of things that you can say for conflict management. You don't just stay silent, because when you stay silent, that's acquiesce. That's when they get violent. You have to know what to say, and have to know how to say it in a respectful way. I've dealt with this in South America and North America. All right. And also it helps to have an allodial ID. They work for the judges. Right. So now let's understand this. Yeah, cops do work for the judges, but you got to understand there's still certain things that the judge has to do and respect. And even if they don't, there's still other recourses for you, but there's a way that you don't even get to that point. See, there's remedy all the way throughout the process. When the cop first pulls you over, there's remedy. To when after the ticket, if you sign the ticket, there's remedy. To if you walk into the court, there's still a different remedy. And then even when you say guilty, not guilty, or no low, there's still remedy. Even when the judge says, all right, pay up $2,500, there's still remedy. But you got to know the law. There's different remedies all the way throughout the process. There's always a remedy when you know the law. But if you don't know the law, then you just go, you don't understand treaties and constitutions. You don't even understand federal codes. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I get out of here? Miss Lady says, thank you, Miss Lady. Forfeiture, abandoned estates is why we're in the situation. Thank you, Ann Pooh. Let me go in on that before I get out of here. What Ann Pooh is talking about is, you have this all capital letter estate, and you have yet to claim it and take control of it. This is why we have the trust. All right, you got to claim it. And when you don't claim it, it's just sitting out there waiting in the matrix. And so now when you do that, your property, it looks abandoned. Well, you got to claim it. And y'all ever known years before they adopt the child? Why? Because the whole law, everything deals with these so-called laws, these little code, statutes, and ordinances. But the code, the statute, the ordinances says it's not abandoned until after 3 years. So, a woman wants to adopt a child. She got to wait for 3 years before she can adopt it, because then it becomes an abandoned child, and then she can claim control over it. All right. The mother, the birth mother, has forfeited and abandoned that child or that estate. So now you can claim ownership of it. It's the same thing millennials, my people who are a little bit older and have seen some things. Did y'all remember when they used to send your checks back to you after they were paid out? Anybody in the comment section, let me know. Real quick before I go on. Etan says, I'm just getting in the end. How do I get from under the citizenship? With a trust and your knowledge. That's why I just went over the hierarchy of law chart. You got to have knowledge of that. And then this trust. Okay, so the trust is a tool, but your knowledge is what's going to help you to wield that tool. All right. Does anybody remember? Okay, yes. Y'all said y'all remember we used to get our checks back. That's because those are financial instruments and they belong to you. All right. So let me tell y'all what happens. Watch this now. You write a $500 check. All right. Now I need you to understand all this stuff, everything, all these funds is still federal. So when you write a $500 check, any money that you put out as a Federal Reserve note, you're supposed to get that back 100%. All right. And so you write this check for $500. And what they're going to do, you have put $500 in your checking account. They're going to take that $500 and give it to the other person. And then that financial instrument is supposed to come back to you. But the bank is now keeping that financial instrument. Why? Because they're going to turn that instrument over to the federal government to get the credits, the $500 credits. See, really, everything is already paid for. When you gave them, when you wrote your signature on that $500 bill, that was money already. The instrument itself with your name and say $500, that's money. That's $500 right there. You don't even have to have that in the bank. But what they're going to do is take the $500 that you put in there and give it to them. And then they're going to take that $500 check when it comes back, and they're going to send that over to the federal government and get those credits and keep that $500. Well, when are they going to do that? After 3 years. Because you have abandoned your check. Now I go into the bank just the other day. I was like, yeah, how do I get these checks back? Oh, we don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, y'all used to do that. Oh, we never return. Yes, you did, lady. Because by law, you're supposed to give those back. Those instruments belong to me. They got my name on them. I am the one who autographed that and gave it power. But what they're doing now, they're keeping it. And after 3 years, it becomes abandoned property. And they're going to turn those checks, all of them, in to the federal government. And they're going to keep the cash and never tell you. That's the problem. We don't know we've been banking. We don't know how they've been duping us on this game. 62 years, what can I do? You can get a trust. You still living. You still got an estate. You got a Social Security number. You rich. Get a trust. Put it under trust. That's what you do. Yes, I do have a question about birth certificates. There was name change affidavit. Okay, we need to talk about why you changed your name. Because, you know, we do have a spiritual name. Whenever you're coming in and you're getting your trust, we encourage you to create a spiritual name that sounds distinctly different from your given name or your birth name. Why? Because remember, going back to this, I need y'all to understand, as I've told many of you before, this is a spiritual walk. Welcome, Timothy. This is a spiritual walk. And when you're coming from down here as a citizen and up here to a sovereign, you're changing what they call, a lot of people, you hear the term status. No, remember in the Bible, and y'all better pay attention when I start talking about the Bible. In the Bible, you remember there's certain characters, when they elevated to another level, their names changed, like Abraham, went from Abraham to Abram, I think it was. Was it Abram to Abraham, or one or the other? He went from Abram to Abraham. And then Jacob went from Jacob to Israel, because he elevated. So when you elevate, you change your name. And that's what we're doing. We're elevating from a citizen to a sovereign. And we're having a name specifically different sounding from the given name. Why? Because we're shedding that image as the debtor. You don't kill it. Now, some of y'all want, I don't want none of it. You kill it, shut it down. You don't have to do all that, because it is an estate that your mother created for you. All right, it is for you. You need to claim it. So, what we're doing is we have to separate ourselves from this dead fictitious citizen entity, and we have a new entity. But one of the things that we don't do, we don't want to put our sovereign entity under the jurisdiction of the corporation. So let this stay what it is. Don't even mess with this name. This is just a corporation. Let it stay what it is. And with your new name, you start operating. Really, you can operate under both of them. See, the way I got mine set up, I show people in this university how to set up your spiritual name and your all cap name and operate under both of them, because that's what I do. So I have my passport, and it's a federal passport where I'm a non-citizen. Okay, a non-U.S. citizen. And I show you all how to set that up. Why do I have that? See, the way that is set up, my spiritual name is up there, as well as my given name or my corporation name. And so I can access both of them whenever I need to access both of them. You can set it up all kind of different ways depending on how you want to operate. But for me, I need to be able to operate under both. And so I've set it up and established it where I can operate under whichever one of those names that I want to, whenever I want to. Hey, Lakota, welcome. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate the love. Thank you, Drukpa. Appreciate the love. Anybody have any questions? I'm ready to get out of here. But listen, I just want y'all to know, get this. Y'all can go to UNA University and you can download this, or you can get the PDF version of this, the UNA law book, rather. You can get the PDF version of this, and it has this document in it. Okay? I encourage y'all to do that. And I encourage you to have knowledge of who you are. That is what gives you freedom. Knowledge of who you are is what gives you freedom. Not a birth certificate authenticated, not even a trust, not any kind of paperwork. Out of here, look, we got class starting on the 16th. If you want a free consultation, go leave a message in the inbox or go to UNA University, all right, so we can get you up and running. Thank you, Dave. 11-11-11. I mean, 11-11. That's right. All of my units, that's for me. That's for me. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. I just gave a prayer right there. Universe knows who I'm talking to. Thank you, God. Thank you, spirits. All right. Thank y'all, my beautiful spirits with vessels. I love you. I'm going to see y'all next time right here. Okay. I want to encourage you all. Go and find us on UNARepublic. We're trying to get to 1,000. Okay. I'm trying to get to 1,000. We should be at 1,000 by now. Y'all need to subscribe, like, and share, please. Hug. Give me a hug. Thank you, Charlie. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all next time. All right, I'm out, Diva Laree. Bye, Druka. We out. Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah, I'm out.